Hi, everybody. Welcome to week 10. And in week 10, we're going to be covering section 3.4, which is applications of the derivative in business and economics. So that is a goal for this week 10 module. Let's go ahead and check out the overview of this module and our learning objectives. So below here are our learning objectives. Here is we will be able to use a derivative to perform marginal analysis for revenue, cost, and profit situations. We will be able to determine and reorder lot size of items to minimize inventory costs. We'll be able to apply the economic order of quantity formula, EOQ, to minimize inventory cost. And we'll be able to find and interpret a concept of elasticity of demand. So below are the following tasks and assignments that should be completed throughout this module. You should be able to watch the section 3.4 lecture videos that are provided. You should complete the self-check 3.4 assignment, and you should watch the self-check 3.4 video if you are stuck with how to do some of the self-check problems, or if you want to double check your work or just follow along and in general. So you should also complete XYZ homework 12. That's about section 3.4 assignment. And the XYZ section 3.4 quiz, that's just a short timed quiz to complete. It's timed, but you should have plenty of time to complete it. It's just a couple questions. Discussion for Lab 6 Part 2. It's about Lab 6, but we're only doing Part 2 because that pertains to Section 3.4. It's just about 3 questions. And you should post a problem from Lab 6 Part 2, one of those problems, and respond to 2 classmates' posts. Make sure your explanations and responses are pretty detailed, like 2 to 3, 4 sentences, okay? And lastly, just to make sure you submit your Lab 6 Part 2. Okay, so if you're watching this video, then you know it would be right here in the week 10 overview video. So let's go ahead and look through this module. So here are notes that are provided for section 3.4. We're not directly using the 3.4, 3.5 in the module provided. Here are my own personal notes that I have for this. So let me click on this document. And they look like this, right? Here's a new 3.4 notes that we would be using. So once again, we're not using the ones in the note module. These are the personal ones I made for this section, okay? So make sure to have this ready if you want to print it out or upload it to your tablet, or if you need me to, you know, access to a printer and you don't know how to use it here, just let me know. I can print it out for you and you can come pick it up from my office, okay? But just make sure you're taking it off these notes, okay? So those are the notes that we're going to be using. And here's just your learning objectives again, right? Marginal analysis, inventory cost with lot size and reorder, EOQ formula, and elasticity of demand. And here's also the student learning outcomes for this week, right? We would have CSLO 2 for Math 140, applications to business and science, which is basically what this section is about, applying it to some business and science topics. Derivative analysis, we're taking derivatives of some polynomials and coming up with some conclusions and figuring out how to best take a derivative. And this also coincides with Math 140S, a support section using problem solving to read some calculus problems and just demonstrating relative formulas and calculations and terminology with technology, okay? So that's the student learning outcomes and our learning objectives for this section. Okay, great. So here's our lecture video for section 3.4. Once again, here are the notes that I will be using, provided here again. Print them out, upload them, ask me if you need them. But here's our 3.4 marginal analysis, inventory cost, EOQ formula, and elasticity of demand. So make sure to watch these, check them out, copy down the notes, and make sure you're getting that material down, okay? Next up, we have the self-check for 3.4. Here's our self-check assignment here, right? Here's just a couple questions relating to the material from this section. Also relates to XYZ homework, so it definitely helps you out there. We have about 3 questions, 2 of them with multiple parts. So we have, like, marginal analysis, inventory cost, and elasticity of demand question. So make sure to submit that, get it done by this Thursday, October 31st. Okay. So, and if you're having trouble with this, right, you can check out the self-check 3.4 video where I go over these problems. You can click on this link right here, or you can just click next to check out the videos for this. So here's question 1 for 3.4, self-check 3.4, question 2, and question 3. So make sure to check those out if you're having trouble with it. Okay. So before I even move forward, let me go back. Here is a rubric to make sure how I grade a self-check. Everything's done, right? I'm not grading for correctness, I'm grading for completion. You complete every problem, you show steps. 11 partial marks is not enough work or missing some problems. Half marks is not enough work or you're missing a lot of problems. And 0 is just not doing any work or submitting it at all. Okay. So just want to double check that. So here's a self-check video, right? Remember to check that out if you don't know how to do the problems or if you want to follow along. And here's the XYZ assignment. So we have about 11 questions here. So make sure to check that out. Complete the problems. They really relate to the self-check and the examples in the notes. Okay, so there's about 11 questions here, and you can watch videos on the questions in case that would help. So let's keep moving on. And here's a quiz for section 3.4. Okay, so it's open note. It's 10 points possible. It's due by Tuesday midnight, so make sure you get that done. It's a 1 hour time limit, but you should definitely finish it before 1 hour. And it's pretty much related to the questions on the XYZ homework. So, time quiz, 1 hour, shouldn't take you 1 hour. Make sure you send down and get it done though on time. You'll have one attempt on each question, but you'll have at most 3 versions of each question. So if you get one wrong, you get at least 2 more. Then, let me know if any questions, but yeah, they pretty much relate to the homework. Okay. So make sure you understand the homework so you could apply it to this quiz. Okay. So that's it for the quiz. And then here's our discussion portion where you are going to explain a topic to your classmate and then post a picture, explain it to your classmate, and then reply to 2 peers. So this is due by Sunday. By this Sunday, and then I have a typo here, sorry, but it should be Sunday, November 3rd. I'll make sure to fix that up there. It's not the 27th, it's the 3rd. But by the 3rd, and then the problems that relate to Lab 6 Part 2 from 3.4 is 28, 32, and 34. Make sure to post a problem. If it's wrong, it's okay. That's the whole point of it, to discuss about it. And then make sure to reply to 2 peers, 3 sentences minimum, et cetera, by Monday the 4th. Okay, so that's our discussion. And then here's our Lab 6 Part 2, right? Make sure to get those 3 problems done. And make sure to turn it in by Wednesday at midnight, okay? PDF scan. Here's some solutions to double check your answers, right? But they really relate to the notes and the self-check. So hopefully you kind of get it to this point by now. But double check your answers and make sure you're doing it okay, all right? PDF 1 file, et cetera, okay? And here's our week 10 module conclusion, right? So hopefully run through everything and get to this point. You've watched all the videos, you've completed a self-checked, you've done the XYZ homework, done the XYZ quiz, did a discussion, post and response, and did the lab assignment, okay? So in all, this ends our chapter 3 material, which was definitely more applied stuff after we kind of got our basis for the derivative. And this is going to demonstrate how calculus and the derivative can be applied to real world situations in business and sciences, right? Mainly through the minimization and maximization that we've seen, like point of diminishing return, maximum cost, minimum cost, things like that. And this is going to lead us into chapter 4, which focuses on how logarithmic and exponential functions are used in these social sciences or business, right? And their derivatives can be used in the finance and sciences, right? Think about like exponential populations or calculating interest, things like that. So this is going to lead us into that. So chapter 3 and 4 of this second learning unit for our next exam material is really applied stuff with this calculus material. But okay, so that does it for this week 10 module. Hopefully you made it this far and completed everything. Let me know if you have any questions. If you need me to print out the notes for you, just come see me. Just let me know beforehand if I need to print it out. But other than that, let me know if you have any questions and have a good week. Thank you. Bye.